those who haven't read it, who are going to read your book, if they can only take one thing away from it, something they will never forget and carry with themselves, what would you as the author would like them to embody, so to say?
It's going to sound strange because there are all kinds of lessons, including, philosophies of leadership, uh, what I call my three, and we touched on one of them, my three C's, which I'm not even sure I write about in the book, but which came out of it. And one, as we said, culture. Um, two, uh, so establish a clear culture. To communicate to everyone in your organization. It doesn't matter what level, to make sure they understand the culture. And the third C is consistency, and that is your day-to-day actions have to be consistent with who you say you are. And the moment that they are no longer consistent, and this came through the analysis of, okay, why did we fail and how did it happen so fast? And as we had a change of leadership, and suddenly there's a change of direction. So the place that everybody signed up to be at, when you looked at what the day-to-day steps taken by leadership and management were no longer consistent. And that breeds skepticism and contempt. And that is at the root of the destruction of any organization. So, so my story breakdown became a story of how do you build it? What are the elements of building it? And ultimately, how fragile is an organization or the bonds holding people together, and what causes them, like kind of like a nuclear reaction to break apart. So it starts off small, and then suddenly, you've destroyed the universe. But it's
You
the bonds
destroyed
holding
the,
together are
the
still trust, consistency, and sending a message and making sure every single thing you do in your organization is consistent with the message.
I had a relationship once, Norman, and it fell apart during one of my earliest ventures, and I love that person very much. And I wrote a lot of relationship books afterwards, trying to figure out what I could have done to avoid this. That was like my little soul searching. And I talked to one person. His name is Robert Tybeby. He's a best-selling author from the relationship counseling sector, relationship counseling for 40 years, and he said something so obvious where it's like usually people break up when the core need that led those two people to each other is not being satisfied anymore, or in your words, if the